Hopefully you had a safe Halloween. Just a few things here while we're waiting for a few people to show up here. Get that out the way. Adjust my microphone a little bit better. You can see we have today's loop going here. This is October 31st, Halloween. And here's today's loop. Starting with this event up at the top of the sun up here. Remember I was talking about these spires up here last night? And here we had our event coming out of that region. And second here, we'll freeze frame it. And start going through these one at a time. Actually, I'll let that run a second here until I get a sip here. So wait for this loop to come back around and pause it and go through it frame by frame. Oops, missed it. Now we don't have all the data here, so here's our opening frame 024. Let me slide this just a tad bit. Okay, opening frames. Let me get my pointer. And we have this event going off here on the left, finishing up and moving on out. Our first event's going to be up top here, where these spires are sticking off the top. All right, boom, boom, boom. And let's just kind of give this a little tilt your way so we get a little more brightness in it. There we go. Now you can see over here on the red side, this dark little patch with the streak right here. Here's our dark black object right here. Hello, Cindy. Welcome, darling. Hopefully you had a safe Halloween. All right, here's a good shot right there. Let's see. Is there a better one? There's a good one right there, I guess. So let's just zoom into this frame real quick to our object here. Our dark ground object right here. You can see some plasma still glowing on this side of it right here. And this magnetic field kinda teardrop type well, like a bow shock type magnetic field probably around it there. Let's back out of that. Okay, and continue on as that object continues on out. Looks like maybe there's a second one. Maybe been two of them there together. Either way, we had that little event go off the top of the sun there. Not much other stuff except for right at the end here. Look here, let me back up a little bit. You see there's a partial halo CME coming off right around here. Watch as I go forward here. So we'll have to see what direction that's going. Then we have this event, whoops, right here. We only have 2 frames of it. Or 3. 1, 2. 2 good ones. And then it stops at 2136 here. Okay, so we're missing some data for this day. We're missing the last, 3 hours basically of 2.5 hours of this event right here is missing. Then while we're here, let's go over to the to the first now. See if they got any data. Now see, we're missing data. This picks up at 0 again. So we're missing, this is the tail end of that event right here. So something must have happened during that event and they deleted that data. Or they're just not posting it, whatever. Okay. typical. We're used to it. It doesn't matter because we captured this event coming off the top here with our object in it. This one worries me if they're covering data, what's going on in this event. So I'll dig a little deeper into it and we'll find out later. But for right now, you can see that's our solar activity for the day. Okay, let's come on over to this. Oh, hello. Scroll on up and zoom on in. All right, here we go. Here's our GOES X-ray flux. You can see yesterday it was really quiet. It was below the sea level. We had this little pop at the very beginning of today. Here's today's, and then you see this gradual increase, boom, and we just experienced another one. This is an M class. So this latest one right here that's not even on the instrument yet, we're experiencing something. We're just coming down from an event right now. And that's like the strongest one we've seen in a while get up to the M class. So then let's zoom on out and scroll on down. Look at the rest of this beautiful page. If you guys haven't been over here to this site yet today, we're having a pretty decent absorption. It's not red yet, but it's turning this bright blue. The next color's green, okay, and then yellow and red. So we're having, an absorption event. Our X flare capacity is still 5%. M flare is still 25%, and sure enough, we just had one. Okay, so here's this sunspot 3474. Still watching that closely as it starts to grow more as it rotates around. I think this is it right here. Or no, this isn't it. This is just some flare off of this region. Okay, let's come over here. Look at the auroras right here. Pretty decent strength for right now. Okay, so we are having an event, not an event, but we're having something hit us, and we're absorbing energy right now as we speak. Then let me pull this over a tad bit more. Last time I opened this tracker, it didn't have anything on it. Ooh, now it does. Let me just zoom in on this. It's very faint. That's why I'm going to zoom in for you guys. See this little faint wave coming off the backside right here? I believe this is probably our halo that we saw. So the halo event is not Earth directed. It's more heading away from us, okay? There were two events there, right? One coming off the top of the sun. There was that halo event. And then there was the one coming off the, left side of the sun. The western limb. And all they show is this faint little halo heading the other way. So looks like they're not reporting all their data, but what they do show is heading away. Now let's in and out and in and out. Okay. KP index is kind of mellowing out right now, which is good. Let's come on over to the Schumann here. And we'll scooch and zoom and do all those wonderful things we got to do with this one here to get. Let's center that a little more. There we go. Trying to get the brightness in there too. That's better. Okay, here's our 7.83 hertz going across. You can see up here we had this scraping event in the low range that I was talking about. It sputters out right here, but then we have it a little bit again. You can see this dark little shadow line right here. This is a faint little hiccup right here where it got weak for a second. Right in this little stripe right there. The rest of it looks pretty pretty good. Okay, so not too concerned about this stuff down here. This is the one we're mainly concerned about, and you can see it's fluctuating in strength. Some of them are nice and strong and vibrant, then it gets weak, vibrant, then weak again, strengthens, weakens, strengthens. Okay. Meanwhile, up here we're having some screeching and some scraping going along. All right. This is uh, at like 3 and 4 hertz. It's way below our audible range. All right. So you can't hear this scraping going on, but it's being captured by this instrument. So let's move on to the earthquakes now. We have had quite a day of earthquakes. I wanted to do just a quick earthquake report earlier because of today's activity. But we're just going to cover it now. All right, so we did have some big quakes today. Let's go kind of in sequence. We had this big quake right here. Come on now, Papa. There it goes. A 6.5 here at Fiji, and this is where our deep quakes originate, and sure enough, this is at 549. This is a large quake at a very deep depth. Dutch has showed us over and over again, and he's right. When we have these deep quakes, they bring bigger quakes to the surface sometimes. It transferred energy. Here, let's do a timestamp real quick. I want you to note right here, this big quake, big deep one, took place at 4:10 UTC, okay? So we'll keep that in mind, 4:10. Then we come over to this matching quake right here. They're matching quakes. This energy transferred straight across. And within an hour or 45 minutes, this is 5:33 now, UTC, we had a identical quake pop off over here, okay? So 6.6 there and a 6.5 here. I heard this one came in originally at 6.7. One of these came in at 6.7, but either way, we've had these two big quakes. This is the one that concerns me the most. This deep quake right here is 6.5 at a depth of 549. All right, now, luckily, as we go and we look as this energy enters the system, it has set off a chain reaction of quakes right here, okay? We're going to go through these, and thankfully, these aren't too big. These are 5.1 at a depth of 10, a 5.2 at a depth of 66, a 5.2 at a depth of 66 again, okay? Identical kind of quakes here. 5.0. This one's in this little deep pit area at a depth of 126. It's not really deep. It's a little deeper than the surface quake, but it's a 5.0, which is that energy traveling right along, okay? When these lower quakes, this pressure comes up from down below, okay? When we're boiling the egg and you're overcooking the egg and the shell cracks, right? Now you've got fissures in the shell of the egg, right? Any kind of expansion from below or from inside is going to result drastically along those cracks, along those weak spots already, okay? So our quakes are following these cracks a lot closer now because of the bulging effect underneath, okay? Bulging from underneath. Iceland's volcano is raising a couple centimeters and stuff. That's that bulging. That's magma underneath pushing the surface up. Okay, let's continue on though. This right here is a 4.9, almost a 5. Okay, it's that same energy, 4.8 up here at Honshu. Okay, so this is that 5 energy. Luckily, these aren't all 7s, because that's what they deserve to be. With this thing being a 6.5 at this depth, these should all be 7.1, 7.5, but they're not. Something different's happening, and that's good, because it's relieving pressure with these 5 range quakes. This is a lot of energy being relieved without doing any damage. These 4, 5, 6 quakes right here. Okay. I'm sure there'll probably be some kind of 5 activity in this area, unless it skips it. It'll probably get a 5 or 4.9 or something right in this area. Maybe one here at the fulcrum point, and then that usually diminishes the energy into 3 range across here, and then it'll push down into this area with a 3 something. Okay. I'm not going to try to predict, times and dates and magnitudes, but we understand how this system is working now, and we're just going to keep an eye on it. All right. You see, this pressure has made it up to here. It also has gone over to here too, and dumped off a 4.3 here at Tajikistan. I think there's 2 here. There's 3. There's a 4.9. This 4.9 actually happened before the big quake. So this blue one doesn't count. But it does. There was a 4.9 in that region. So this one is after the big one, a 4.4. There's another one tucked behind it, a 4.2 as well. And a 4.3. So these 3 quakes, these 3 mid-range 4 quakes all happened right here, just above our little fulcrum point here, a little deeper on the backside of these mountains, but it's still right here, this bend in the plate. Dumped off 4 of them, or 3 mid-range 4s there. Let's take a peek at this. Here's a 5. See that 5 energy? Whoops. Let me get this just right here. That 5 energy is still pushing through the area. We might see 5 over in here, or mid-range 4s, up through this area or into the Mediterranean. See how naked this area is? This energy is pushed up through here. We got a naked zone right here as well. We might get something dumped off right in this area, the fulcrum point as well, okay? Because it seems to have jumped this. There might be lock. Remember I was talking about this area hasn't had one in a while. It might be locked up, which could cause a bigger quake in this area. And this is where we had these big ones at Sumatra before. So just a little warning for this area. It's naked. We have this energy coming through. It seems to have skipped and jumped over, indicating this area might be locked up. Okay, it's made it over to here, not to Europe yet. Even down here is a 4.8 in Africa, okay? One of your diverse quakes right there in Africa. And if we look over here, this little red one up here that's just recent here is a 3.2. So there's your 3 energy. Remember I was talking, it skips over this, it reduces it and comes into 3. So here's a new quake right here at a 3.2. All right. So we'll take a peek here at the states. All these are small, but let's just see. This is Stanley, Idaho with a 3.5 today. That's a shallow one at a depth of 5. This is just over the hill from me at a little 2.5. This region here, right over the hill from me, seems to have had some activity lately. Right here at the Bay Area, we had a 2.7 at Concord, and then down here on the darn it, close that out. Here at Parkfield, we had a 2.5 on the San Andreas there. Oh, what's going on up here? 2.5 at Oregon. What's going on here? Is this a... Oh, yes, indeedy. That's why I said, what's going on here? Because Oregon didn't report many quakes, right? We all know that. But what do we have here? A 2.5 on the flank of this volcano. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change this over real quick while we're here to 7-day all magnitude. No. That's the wrong one. 7-day all magnitude. There it is right there. I want to see. Yeah, we've had a little cluster of quakes at this area right here. 3 of them today. The 2.5, 0.3, and a 0.5, because we got all magnitudes on, and then a couple of other ones within the last couple of days here with a 0.5 and a 0.2. So we're having a little underground motion going on here. There's magma moving on the move under here. So watch this volcano here in Oregon for possible activity, or at least maybe some more earthquake activity before going off. We got a little quake swarm going on at this volcano as well. Jeez, look at this. Where's this at? Washington. Amboy, Washington. Mount St. Helens area. That's Mount St. Helens. All blown out, right? Yep. Yep. I believe that's it. We're having an earthquake swarm at Mount St. Helens, folks. Let's come up to here. What's going on here at this volcano? Having another little swarm at this one. 1.2. I believe this is Rainier. Yep. Do we do that one? Yeah, this is the first one we did. So this little peak is waking up. This Mount St. Helens is waking up. Mount Rainier is waking up. Okay, so we're having quake swarms around these volcanoes here in the northern Pacific, in the Pacific Northwest here. What's going on here? It seems to be a little quake swarm area. Okay. Yeah, that's the Walker area. Alright, enough of that. Let's go on to our next... something weird that was going on with this instrument today. That's why I said Halloweird. So, I'm going to take the wind off this way. Let's refresh this real quick and see if maybe it was just a fluke. Yeah, it's still on. We're still on space. Now, where were those fires in Africa? Oh, they're gone now, too. Okay, folks, I have it set on fires, and there weren't many fires on here. There were a couple right here on the edge of Australia, and some up here in northern Africa that they were showing. But nowhere else on the world. Make sure I got this thing set on fires. Yes, fires. Now they're either deleting the data or something's going on here. But it was weird. South America has no fires at all, showing nothing. Yet they were showing just a little small streak of hot spots right here in Africa about an hour ago on this. Let me, you know what I can do? So I can go back. Wait, it's this one. Alright, I went back in time here. Do you see how these fires kind of started spreading as I went backwards? But look over here at South America, where it was just all these hot spots are all gone now. So I don't know if it's the instrumentation that's flipping out or what, but you remember the other night I was saying how these hot spots will flip from one side to the other, say if we have the passage of an object or whatever. So you see these right here that were there, 8 hours ago? Then as I go forward in time, you see them diminish. And now, at the present time, there are no hotspots on the planet. And I'm wondering if maybe we had the absorption event, the Earth swelled, okay, we had pressure underneath that got released. Come here. With a bunch of earthquakes today, and I'm sure there were volcanic eruptions today. There are some every day. It's all around. There's like 46 different volcanoes erupting right now. So it looks like with these couple of quakes here and possibly a few volcanic eruptions today, it may relieve some of that pressure, and that's why we're not seeing a flare-up of hotspots. I'm going to take this instrument back as far as it goes until we see them flare up here in America. Yeah, there they are. Okay, so it's not the instrument tweaking out. It's recording stuff still. It's just these fade. You see that aurora event up top. And then, yeah, that's our last image right there. Okay, so that's our current time. And thankfully, no hotspots. All right? Somebody's praying pretty hard. And there's just none to report tonight. And that's why it's kind of weird, because they are on the instrument just a few hours ago, and then as you go forward in time, they just wane and disappear. You saw how I did that, right? How I just kind of went forward, fast forwarded, and they all kind of just, the swelling went down and they all disappeared. That's what I think happened there. So, our forecast. Oh, come on. There it is. Let's see. Current conditions, October 31st, the night of the 31st, morning of the 1st, noontime, convection. We have our storm entering your northwest up here, Pacific Northwest. Nighttime of November 1st with, come here, you, with a chance for thunderstorms and stuff coming onto the coast here. So this storm, when it comes in, could pack a punch for Washington and northern Oregon there. And that's November 1st, the night of November 1st. Then as we get into the morning of the 2nd, you see it has freezing rain, a little patch, snow up here into Canada, Washington border area, intense thunderstorm activity back behind it. It's the morning of the 2nd. There's noontime as it skirts down to Northern California. There's the end of convection right there. That's the nighttime of the 2nd. Then the morning of the 3rd. Noon. Convection. Nighttime. You see this moving in here on the coast. Morning of the 4th. Noon. Convection. Nighttime. Morning of the 5th. Noon. Convection, nighttime. This kind of getting over and over hit here again on the coast, like round 3 right there or something. So noontime of the 5th. That's the That's the nighttime of the 5th. Morning of the 6th. Noontime of the 6th. Convection. Nighttime of the 6th. Let's back up there. We had this event right here, starting with this low pressure. We have this moving in on the coast here on the night of the 5th, but we also have this low wrapping up in here. Getting stronger with snow on the backside as it moves into the morning of the 6th here through this middle part of the country up by the Great Lakes area. It does have potential to have severe thunderstorms on both sides by the noontime out there. And then kind of dissipating for convection and then moving at nighttime into the northeast up here. That's the morning of the 7th as it moves out through Maine. The noontime of the 7th. convection. Now we have this storm coming up into California, slamming the Sierras here at convection time of the 7th. And that's the nighttime of the 7th. There's morning of the 8th. Potential for severe thunderstorms here. Noon time the 8th. Convection the 8th. The nighttime of the 8th with snow in the back here. A little freezing rain possible in there. You see how this thing kind of wraps around, has this little comma-shaped tail right here. Back in here, we have the potential in this tail here for severe weather in Kentucky, West Virginia, this area right in here, even parts of Tennessee. So this is the morning of the 9th. So depending on what comes off the sun on the 6th, could intensify this or nullify it too. And then it moves on out. Now we're getting into the nighttime of the 9th right here as this comes on shore again. So the northwest, Pacific Northwest getting hit over and over again up here. This is the morning of the 10th. Noontime the 10th. The end of convection the 10th. And the nighttime. Then the morning of the 11th with snow here in the Sierras. Another thing building off the coast. The noontime. The end of convection on the 11th with another band hitting the Pacific Northwest again. Into the nighttime of the 11th. This is the morning of the 12th. Noon. Convection. Nighttime. Morning of the 13th. Ooh, look at this down here now. We got this low dropping down in here with cold air on the backside and this moist air band right here. Watch as it picks this even hot moist air off the Gulf. Boom. They collide here at like Louisiana in the morning hours of the 13th. Even up here into Texas, okay? Look at this right here. This is the noontime of the 13th. And this looks pretty intense down here. So, let's see what happens at convection. That's right around the end of convection right there when the thunderstorms stop building and they should start decreasing. But lately we've had nighttime events where it continues to intensify into the nighttime, which is very rare. Used to be very rare. Now it's happened. Now it's happened quite a few times. All right, now, this is the end of convection. Now we go into the nighttime. So it did dissipate, but it's still intense right here. Florida Panhandle, Alabama area, Georgia. Okay, this moving in up here isn't a slouch. This thing looks nasty too. So this is the nighttime of the 13th. There's the morning of the 14th. You see how tight these bands are right here? This is going to be a wallop of a storm right here. This moving in on the coast up here, British Columbia. This is the morning of the 14th. There's the noontime. Look at this potential for severe weather up through here, even in the eye of this thing. Out here to South Carolina. Tennessee, here's Indiana, Ohio, up through the Ohio River Valley, okay? Boom, that's the end of convection right there. Now, this is on the 14th. Depending on what comes off the sun on the 11th, could impact this, okay? And make it even worse. Now, this is a ways out there, okay? So it's not the most accurate. But for the moment, this is what this thing's predicting. Let's go from the end of convection right here. This is when the sun goes down. It should start to dissipate. No, it blossoms. Okay, so this is an event here that we got to watch out for. We got this freezing rain and ice back here on the back side of this, as well as snow on both sides of it. You got this huge rotating low that's going to dump tons of rain. You got this severe weather, even with red in there, okay? So this little package right here has all the colors in it, okay? It has the potential to be quite the monster as it goes into the morning hours. Look, this is convection. No. Yeah. Convection, the nighttime, the morning. So this thing keeps growing when it should be dissipating. Then we get into the noon hours, and you can see how it's starting to build and connect together here. This is the end of convection. We got a red all the way up through here, okay? So this is the coast, so be on watch, be aware on November 15th. This can all be subject to change and stuff. This always changes, but for this model run, that's what they're showing right now. And if we stick anywhere close to this model run and have more perturbations from the sun, it's going to only intensify this. Once this loop plays again, watch the Pacific Northwest just get hit over and over and over again. Let's see if we can... There we go. Alright, so yeah. Pacific Northwest getting hit with storm after storm. Potential for some of these storms to collide with the cold air masses, congeal together and make these wallop of storms that hit the East Coast here. Yeah, it looks like Washington area is going to be busy the next couple weeks, just getting hit over and over and over again. And then that big old monster that went through there, that's going to be interesting to see what happens when we get there. But we're in that transition season right now where weather's changing. We're getting the polar vortexes getting more and more together. It's forming. It's getting more and more structure as the southern one weakens. The polar vortexes are switching over. So we have a little lull in the action for the fires and everything. You know what we can do real quick here though? So we can go over here. Give me the air, since that's not showing that. Let's go up to the polar vortex and take a little peek what's going on under the hood, huh? Alright. So here's our whacked out polar vortex. It's still not perfectly round, but you see this intense flow. You see how it's taken... Let me adjust this for you. You can see America in the strike zone right here. You can see how this rotating vortex has taken cold air from Siberia here, jumped it right over Alaska, and now it comes, boom, smashing down right across the country, right here. And this is the intense band. The coloration is the intensity, all right? You see how it is taking cold air mass from up here, dropping it in here. Do you see this warm southern fetch right here? It's getting its moisture from here. It's also picking up moisture right here from the Gulf and mixing it in here. So this flow right here that we're in right now is very dangerous. All right, so luckily we're not having a big old tornado outbreak right now, but this flow hopefully will, shift as our polar vortex gets more organized and circular in motion. We got this other feed coming off, this other fetch that's coming off the Sahara here, going across the Middle East in Russia, and then up. It goes up and over, almost over the, not the pole, but up over the Arctic Ocean up here, back over Alaska. Whoops, let the wind catch up there. Back over Alaska, and then it comes slamming down right into Washington, Oregon, California, takes a U-turn and makes it right up towards Maine. So that is your polar vortex, which down below affects your jet streams. Okay, here's your jet stream right here for America. And it's following very similar, that pattern. You got cold air coming down from Canada, from across Alaska, hitting, mixing and turning, going right up here to the East Coast. So this zone right here, this is our jet stream directing your weather right through this area. See how these two flows combine right here? We got our warm southerly flow comes in with that hot, moist air, combines it with the cold air right here in this part of the country, and sends it right into the East Coast. So East Coast, everybody pretty much in this zone right here, be on the lookout for violent, tragic weather. It's not going to be fun. Then this actually continues over like a shotgun blast, and it's just pummeling Spain and Europe and the Mediterranean right here. So watch out, Spain. You guys are going to get everything that comes off of us is just going to go right at you. Oh, wait a second. Let's go look around a little more. I want to see what I don't want to see their jet stream. I want to see the South Pole's vortex. It's still pretty circular in shape. You can see we have these disruptions up here that are starting to weaken it, tear it apart. It was split vortice with one over here. Well, that's halfway there, but we want this to split two separate vortices and then break down and weaken, and then that's when the northern one will start with two vortices and start to combine into one. Okay, so there's that. We're all done there. Everybody been waiting patiently for the spiritual report tonight? Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so how we're going to do this? Alright, so we're all done with our forecasting, solar reports, and all that. We're going to get into something spiritual side tonight, and seeing as how Halloween is a pagan holiday for celebrating death and evil, I think maybe we should go on a different path. Alright? So, we're going to do something a little different this time. Something maybe some of you didn't know about. I'm going to play this quick little video about some of the secret tortures of Jesus, some of the other wounds and things that he suffered that not many people know about. They all know about the cat of nine tails and the spikes in the hands and stuff, but there was some other happened too. So we're going to play this quick little 15 secret tortures and sufferings of Jesus. And it's not to celebrate Halloween, it's to show you how much he loves us, what he endured for us. If it'll let us play. Let's go back to that one real quick so you guys can read that. A lot of this is stuff they don't want you to know. I don't know of anybody that would go through this for someone else. Alright. I know it was probably a little hard to watch there. Get it to pause now. What is going on with this? Alright, so yeah, probably a little hard to watch, but a little information there that a lot of people didn't know about. They thought this is all that stuff happened before being crucified. And then there's also another secret. You guys want to know that one too? No, you guys don't want to know that other secret too. Let's see if we can get this to... let's just do... This one looks like the one I played before. Oh, not the ad. Now, even though it says Catholic Crusade, don't let that bother you. It's still part of the story.
A prayer to honor the shoulder wound of Christ. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. O loving Jesus, meek Lamb of God, I, a miserable sinner, salute and worship the most sacred wound of thy shoulder, on which thou didst bear thy heavy cross, which so tore thy flesh and laid bare thy bones, as to inflict on thee an anguish greater than any other wound of thy most blessed body. I adore thee, O Jesus most sorrowful. I praise and glorify thee, and give thee thanks for this most sacred and painful wound, beseeching thee by that exceeding pain, and by the crushing burden of thy heavy cross, to be merciful to me, a sinner, to forgive me all my mortal and venial sins, and to lead me on towards heaven. along the way of thy cross. Amen.
Alright, so you guys probably weren't aware of the most painful wound was his shoulder from bearing the cross. Okay? So, whoops. A lot of other things spiritually that Jesus went through for us. And just kind of want to let you guys know that, alright? So, spiritual warfare, and this is what we're up against. Okay, that's why it's important you guys pray like you mean it. Your prayers mean everything. You're prayer warriors. Okay? And you know what? Let's leave out with not this image. No. Come back here. Let's do a different one this time. Oh, I know. No. There it is. Say goodbye to that ugly.
Radiating out this image in the sky. You'll notice that back behind here, this face is being projected by Jesus's heart right here. You can see it radiating out. Here's Jesus's face. He's pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out this image in the sky. See his face here? And there's a crown right here.
Let's see.
Here's Jesus' face. He's pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart.
Alright. Let's try this maybe a little bit better. And zoom in on this. Hopefully you guys can see this image here. Jesus here. Wearing sunglasses, it looks like. Don't ask me why, but here's his head. His hair coming down. Here's his shoulders. And he's pulling open his shirt, bearing his heart. And his heart is radiating out this face in the clouds. Okay? But the main image I wanted you to see is that one there of Jesus. Let's get it without the pointer in the way.
Radiating out.
There we go. Good. You guys see that? Cool. Some people see it. That's a real image too, you guys. Okay? Real stuff happening in your clouds. So it tells you to look up because there's activity going on in your clouds that would blow your mind, but nobody looks up from their phone anymore. Alright, let me get this just good. So, well, that's probably best right about there. I would say for you guys. Looks like on my screen. Let's see Jesus right here. Here's his eyes, wearing sunglasses, nose. Here's his hair coming over, pulling open his shirt, his heart radiating out. That's the image you guys are going to look at. Well, I'll read something for you. I'm wearing more light. Alright, cool. Hopefully you guys can see that. Take a sip before we start reading. No clouds in California, huh? Okay. Learn to be joyful when things don't go as well as you would like. Do not begin your day determined to make everything go your way. Each day you will bump up against at least one thing that doesn't yield to your will. It could be as trivial as the reflection you see in the mirror, or as massive as a loved one's serious illness or injury. My purpose for you is not to grant your every wish or to make your life easy. My desire is that you learn to trust me in all circumstances. If you are intent upon having your way in everything, you will be frustrated much of the time. I don't want you to waste your energy regretting things that have happened. The past cannot be changed. But you have my help in the present and more. Let me start that. The past cannot be changed, but you can have my help in the present and my hope for the future. So try to relax, trusting in my control over your life. Remember, I am always close to you, and there is abundant joy in my presence. In fact, my face radiates with joy that shines upon you. Well, what's something else? Okay. This one. Let my unfailing love be your comfort. Comfort eases grief and trouble. It also gives strength and hope. The best source of these blessings is my constant love that will never ever fail you. No matter what is happening in your life, this love can console you and cheer you up. However, you must make the effort to turn to me for help. I am always accessible to you, and I delight in giving you everything you need. I have complete, perfect understanding of you and your circumstances. My grasp of your situation is far better than yours, so beware of my being overly introspective, trying to figure things out by looking inward, leaving me out of the question. When you realize you have done this, turn to me with a brief prayer. Help me, Jesus. Remind yourself that I am the most important part of that equation of your life. Relax with me a while, letting my loving presence comfort you. In the world you will have trouble, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Okay, so there's that for tonight. Hopefully you guys can see this image here. That's a real picture. And there's his heart right there. Let's see if we get the heart in there the best. You can see it right here. And then you see these waves radiating off of it. So there's the heart of the Lord right there that loves you, alright? So just take comfort in this image right here, okay? Foundation image again here. Even though things look bleak and terrible, he loves you. He's testing you. He's teaching you. He's trying to build character in you, okay? See what you're made of. See what you're going to do when you're put in a place of opposition or anguish. All right. I love you guys. That's it for tonight. God bless y'all. I miss y'all. And until my next show, I'll be back. I am back. Can't you tell?